This is Gene Key, Skyserve, Texas News.
Fox News and Irving's mayor are just a few of the defendants named in a defamation lawsuit by the father of the clock boy. Ahmed Mohamed, the then 14-year-old student arrested and accused of bringing a hoax bomb to an Irving high school last year. WFAA.com contributed to this report. Court documents filed last week accuse Fox News and the Blaze of libel for what the family calls false and defamatory statements. Mohamed made headlines when he was arrested at school in September of 2015 after school authorities mistook an alarm clock for a homemade bomb. The suit asked the media outlets to retract statements made on their programs alleging Mohamed was part of a terrorist plot. Several additional people are named in the background portion of the lawsuit, which claims that a history of discrimination exists in Irving Independent School District. A federal investigation was launched into allegations that students have been harassed and discriminated against at Irving Independent School District schools. A Houston Transit police officer has resigned after the release of a surveillance video that shows him beating a man he found slumped on a seat on a rail platform. The AssociatedPress.com contributed to this report from Houston. An internal review recommended Officer Jarvis Warren's dismissal for using excessive force in the September 14th beating of Darrell Gillis. Authorities say Warren quit Monday. Gillis was arrested on charges of trespassing and resisting arrest, but the charges were later dropped. Gillis' attorney says he was struck more than a dozen times. Police Chief Vera Bumpers says Daniel Reynosa, a second officer present during the beating, was suspended, then cleared of wrongdoing. Reynosa will return to duty but must undergo additional training. Prosecutors are reviewing the incident for possible criminal charges. Texas is asking the U.S. Supreme Court to restore its newly weakened voter ID law, but not until after the November election. NBCDFW.com contributed to this report. The request filed last week comes 2 months after a federal appeals court ruled that the state's 2011 law discriminated against minorities and the poor. The U.S. Justice Department has stated that more than 600,000 registered voters lacked an acceptable ID under the new law. Texas was forced to soften those ID requirements for the upcoming election. But Republican Attorney General Ken Paxton wants to place more resources to urge the Supreme Court to restore the law in full. Pope Francis has named a Dallas pastor as the new Bishop of Lubbock. The Catholic Diocese of Dallas contributed to this report. Archbishop Christophe Pierre, the papal nuncio to the United States, announced the appointment of Reverend Monsignor Robert Culliver Tuesday in Washington, D.C. Culliver, currently the pastor of St. Rita Catholic Church in Dallas, will become the third bishop of the Diocese of Lubbock.
Visit us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter at Skyserve News Service. This is Gene Key, Skyserve, Texas News.